All right, let's keep it going. Show me a sign. Anne Claire Lizotte, chapter 32. Okay. The next 2 days and night pass much the same. I assist Ezra Brewer in small ways, and he gives me modest tasks to keep me occupied, like rolling the slack rope for the rigging or searching below decks for any leaks or pooling water. When I wake on the 6th day, I feel the roughness of the waters around the cutter. We're being tossed rather than rocked. A whale oil lamp swings from a beam on the ceiling. I climb the stairs to the deck. The sea spray from the large foamy white waves make it feel like it's raining. It numbs my face. Excuse me. Ezra Brewer is still at the helm with his sealskin coat and Monmouth cap. He nods at me and smiles. To my horror, in the distance, I spot the Defiance. I point, and Ezra Brewer nods, barely perceptibly. Is he not intimidated? Or does he not want to show me that he's alarmed? How did Andrew catch up with us? What if he overtakes the black dog and throws Ezra Brewer overboard? A shiver passes through me. Ezra Brewer slips a rope anchored around the deck, around the wheel to keep us on a steady course. He motions for me to come and hold the wheel, just to be certain. I think he's trying to keep my mind off what may come to pass. While my hand holds fast to the wooden peg on the wheel, Ezra Brewer reefs the mainsail, rolling the edge of the canvas in on itself and ties it tightly. He changes the smaller sail out for the storm jib. He spells these words with his fingers, explaining it to me. I bet that's what the eyeballs are. Remember we were wondering? That must be Ezra Brewer's boat. Sorry. We must keep the waves at the helm, he tells me, pointing behind us. When he no longer needs my help, I fetch us the hard biscuits and dried fish from the larder down below. Moving about keeps the frostbite off me. I ladle grog from a barrel for us to drink. Ezra Brewer must agree with Miss Hammond's theory that this light spirit is healthier than water. Ezra Brewer looks tired. I noticed him nap at the helm, and then come to with a shiver and a shake of his head. Soon we'll come close to the tip of the cape, he signs, slipping off the sealskin coat and placing it on me. I'm grateful for its warmth. The ship rocks back and forth in the gusting winds. I stagger to keep from falling. The rain turns to hail. Small white stones pelt us and gather in piles on the deck. I scoop them up and throw them overboard. Before the waves rush over the sides and melt them into blocks, excuse me, that will slide across the deck. Hang on. All this reading aloud is getting to my throat. I can no longer see Andrew following us. Did he capsize? To capsize means for a boat to turn over. The waves rise higher and higher, and the black dog is with them. Up and down we go, cresting each one and falling back down, only to rise on another. My stomach turns over a few times. In English folklore, a black dog can bring bad luck. Ezra Brewer is rascally and named his boat after a dark omen. By facing the worst, he once told me, I can only have good luck. With a black cat and a woman on his boat, he is almost courting bad luck. Up and down, it's like riding a wild horse over hills and jumping stone walls. How long will it go on? Lightning strikes at regular intervals as if it's right above my head. I feel a crack in the sky and a strange hum of electricity that flows. During one of the great flashes, I see the Defiance is beside us. It sideswipes the black dog. Where did it come from? Go below, Ezra signs, one-handed, gripping the wheel. I don't want to leave him. I crouch down on the deck to keep out of the way. Another boom of thunder and zigzag of lightning. The Defiance, lit by the flash, goes hard to port, away from us, and circles back around. Andrew is a deft sailor. I will give him that. He uses the waves, even as they tug and toss as he struggles against the storm. The bowsprit ducks in the water as he rolls forward toward us, and I'm reminded of a ram lowering its head ready to charge. I think of the whaler that we saw, and I realize that Andrew intends to ram into us. I fall to the bottom of the boat, and I grab for the railing. I'm afraid to be knocked over to the side into the crushing sea. My captain handles the wheel rapidly, teeth gritted, and turns the boat hard. Andrew smashes alongside us again. I slide across the deck. Suddenly, a knot slips loose in the riggings, and I lunge for it, holding on with all my might. It burns as it slips through my wet hands. I brace my feet against the slippery deck. Ezra Brewer gestures frantically for me to hold on. I wrap the rope around my wrist and I tug hard. I pray to God in heaven to deliver us to dry land the way Noah and his family and all the pairs of animals were delivered. Send us a dove with an olive branch to show us we are near. The sea is churning. Waves are higher than the sides of the dog. They flood against the deck again and again. A great wave rises out of the ocean like a pride of leaping lions and slams into the Defiance. I watch the schooner slowly topple into the violent sea and gasp in horror when a flash of lightning illuminates Andrew's slim figure trying to keep hold of his sinking ship. The way the waves are battering it, there seems no chance for it to right itself. It appears suspended in its strange, lopsided position. I hold my breath and I watch another wave hit. It turns turtle, the barnacled bottom facing upward, and the mast pointed downward into the seabed. Do I see a hand reaching out of the roiling ocean and then disappear? Turtle must be the boat, like a turtle. We're fighting the storm too hard to help. Ezra Brewer must have struck a bargain with the sea god Neptune because he somehow keeps the dog afloat. When at last the storm starts to abate, I slump into the deck. The pooled water soaks my skirts down to my wiry legs. I shake with a cold, but I'm too exhausted to go below. Ezra Brewer comes over and helps me pry my frozen fingers from the rope that I've been clutching. I see him shake his head and then suck his teeth. He tells me to wait, and he goes below decks to retrieve a salve for my wounds and scraps of cloth for bandages. My palms looked as if they've been burned in the shape of the rope. My knuckles are like crooked knots. He massages my hands gently, bringing feeling back to them. As he works, he nods to a tune inside his own head. A shanty, no doubt. Your hands are rougher than they were before, he observes. I nod. I must look sad, because he chucks a finger under my chin. Maybe now you'll learn those knots, eh? So's next time you're in a storm, you can just tie off a rope instead of holding on to it through the whole blasted thing. He teases. It makes me smile. We sit together and share mugs of grog as rays of thin sunshine begin to peek between clouds. Ezra Brewer looks whipped by 1,000 storms. No wreckage of the SS Defiance, I observe. My signing is a little awkward on account of my sore hands and bandages. Nay, he signs. Too much time has passed, and the waves have carried us too far. Try not to think on it. The good Reverend will get the word back to his family in Connecticut. You and your own have borne enough. Somehow Ezra Brewer's words helped me see that when Mama and Papa and I were left to cope with George's loss, we pulled apart instead of coming together. I won't let that happen again. The seas are calm for now. My mind is clearer than it has been in a long time. Maybe ever. I point to the stairs, signaling Ezra Brewer to go rest. He nods and smiles before making his way below decks to check for damage. And then to his bunk for a well-deserved nap. Is this truly the end of my ordeal? I stand close to the rail and I survey the ocean around me. There isn't another boat in sight. The waves have calmed to ripples. There's something so hopeful about full sails. But my sorrow needs a release. I sit sobbing, without wiping my face, until all of my tears have been shed. I'm glad Ezra Brewer doesn't see me.